it's totally okay for humans to abuse animals for pleasure.
Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, you couldn't be doing that.
No. What about somebody kicking a dog, thinking it's funny?
Yeah, you can't do that.
What?
You can't do that, of course.
What about... Do you remember in the summertime, Kurt Zuma, the footballer, kicking his cat, posted it on social media? Do you remember that?
I can't, but I know what you're talking. I know what you're saying.
Mad as well.
Yeah, of course.
What about bullfighting, fox hunting, stuff like that?
Yeah. It's cruelty to animals, like
Last one. What about taking an animal to a slaughterhouse, shoot them in the head, turn them upside down, cut their throat, turn them into a burger, when you can eat a plant-based version instead?
I know what you're saying.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good, but it's all happening fucking in the, the back doors, like where nobody gets to see it. You just see it in your supermarket.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
I agree with you, man. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm going to assume, and probably shouldn't assume, that you're not vegan or animal rights or anything like that.
No, I had 2 burgers today, man.
Well, I used to eat it myself.
Yeah.
I used to wear leather. I used to wear wool, leather, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not here to judge people, because, like yourself, I was an animal lover, man, for my entire life up until I was 19, and I was eating animal products and all sorts of stuff. And then I got some information. And I thought, shit, I don't have to be paying for that. So I turned like strict vegetarian at 19, but I was still wearing leather and animal products and all sorts of things.
But you just want you're out here and you're to make a difference here, like
Yeah.
Recording me,
Yes. If you don't want to use it, I'll not use it. I do YouTube, man. Talking to people. I'm not here to judge people. I'm not here to point fingers. I'm just trying to have conversations with people because I believe people like yourself have a good heart and you do love animals. But you've been taught by society when you're young to draw this arbitrary line where you're supposed to love dogs and cats.
Yes.
And if somebody shoots a lion or Harambe, you're supposed to be upset about it. Or kills dolphins, we're upset about it.
Absolutely.
But these other animals, the ones we typically consume and wear, you don't think about it. You're taught not to think about it at all. Man, if you've seen what happens to them in these industries, you would not be cool with it. Have you any idea about that?
Farming, like I've seen like sows and pigs and all, like being like in these like tiny metal cages, and they're like hooked up to these like milking machines and stuff like that there, and they're just sitting there and they're just like
I've been in a pig farm here in Northern Ireland. We went in at night time at 3 in the morning because we'd already. It's just a small local farm, man. Those are farrowing crates. So the mother sows are made pregnant for 4.5 months, and she will spend most of that 4.5 months in a cage that she can only stand up and lie down. She can't move forwards or backwards. She can't turn around. They go absolutely crazy, man. Then they have their little children. They're allowed to feed off her for a while. The kids are put into pens of about 20 to 24 in filth and squalor that you cannot imagine.
Absolutely.
6 months old. Guess what happens to them?
Yeah.
The first time they ever see the sunlight or feel the wind in their face is when somebody turns up to the farm and puts them onto a truck, and they go to somewhere like Carrow in Cookstown or Cranswick in Ballymena. Do you know how we dispose of them once together?
I'm not too sure. I don't know now.
Would you be surprised to find out that we put them in gas chambers?
No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But see, do you know what the thing is, right? It's applicable to everything. What's actually happening in society is old torture methods of the ancient world has been. There's energetic means to get the same results from the old methods of yesteryear, but it's all Trojan horse warfare, and it's all in the going on, like your mobile phone, the electromagnetics coming off your phone and stuff, radiation and stuff like that there, and the pharmacy as well is detrimental. So it is, and it's.
I agree with you, man, and that's all personal health stuff, and I get it. I avoid medication like the plague.
Absolutely. But you see,
I try to live as healthily as possible. But this here I'm talking about today, and not to bring you back to it, is literally about what we do to animals, because I feel like they're completely different. Everybody here can make their own choices, and you can find out information if you want to, like you obviously have.
Do you know what the thing is? You see, the rich, the elites, they treat us like animals, like herded cattle as well. But only they don't let us know about it. Like so. Let's go back.
I get it again, but look at what we do to animals. And subconsciously, when you go into a supermarket or a restaurant or a clothes shop and buy leather, you're literally paying something to an animal that you would never ever do yourself, I assume. So I don't think animal abuse is cool. I wouldn't kick a dog, neither would you.
No.
I would never hurt a pig or a cow. You know, so let's put it this way. Say over here now, somebody's kicking a dog. What would you do about that?
Well, you know, what would I personally do? If I seen someone kicking a dog, you know, I would frown upon it, you know.
You'd frown upon it, and you might put yourself in personal danger to try and help the wee dog.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say then it's a lamb.
Yeah. It's the same.
Would you do the same thing?
You know.
You wouldn't act any differently.
No.
Or a wee pig. Somebody's hurting an animal here in front of you, you'd at least shout at them to stop, and you might step in and prevent them. You know, I wouldn't expect you to come into personal harm, but the feeling inside you would be the same. Oh shit, there's somebody hurting a baby animal, I'm going to step in and help. But yet every day we're paying people to do things that you would never ever do yourself. Like baby lambs are sent to slaughterhouses, and spring lamb in this country are 16 weeks old now. Wee lambs, like it's absolutely shocking if you see it. You know, so I'm asking people to think about that for me, there's a hell of a lot of unnecessary cruelty and violence in this world. And I think most of us do not take part in any of that, like wars and violence and beating people up and rape and all these things that happen in the world. We're not part of that.
No.
But animal agriculture, we are part of that collectively, because everybody's paying for it. That's what that sounds about. I haven't eaten an animal product since I was 19. I'm 56 in January.
You're 56?
Yeah.
You don't look a day over 43.
So, well, thank you. I'll take that. But I am even if I looked my age, I am living proof that you do not need to eat animal products or wear their skin or any of that stuff. No. So if you take away the necessity of it and you can live healthfully and thrive on a plant-based diet,
absolutely.
Well, then what would be the excuse?
Absolutely. That's true. But it seems to be, you know, in society, it seems to be, you know, heavily pushed as if there's no other alternatives and stuff, you know.
Of course. Yeah, man, it's around you. If you look, I'm just looking at that sign up there. It was McDonald's a second ago, and it's just turned to a KFC. Exactly. So you are surrounded by this advertising, and the animals you always see are singing and dancing their way to the slaughterhouse. So you go to McDonald's, Happy Meal. What's happy about a Happy Meal? Somebody's had their throat cut and suffered terribly, you know, at 12 months old or 16 months old. So you are bombarded. And not only that, you've got the health side of it too. You're like, if I say to you, why do you drink dairy milk? What do you get from it? What are we told? Calcium.
Calcium. They actually say that it's actually the reverse. They say that in cow's milk it actually does the polar opposite. In this day and age, it actually leaches calcium from your...
Leaches calcium from you. You know, man, you've done some reading, of course. Yeah. So your body's likes to be in a state of alkalinity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Milk is the most acidic substance you will ever consume. So when you consume milk, your body goes into a state of acidity and you'll get sick really quick. So the way your body has adapted to fix that is by stripping calcium phosphate from your bones. Uses the phosphate to calm the acidity. But over time, a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more. And that's why the 4 countries with the 4 highest consumption of milk have the highest rates of osteoporosis. Of course. But you go to Asia where they don't even drink milk, osteoporosis is not even a thing. Yet they tell you, what do they tell you? They tell you drink milk for osteoporosis. So it's like counterintuitive.
The thing is, what I've noticed is in this entire reality for the past 100 or so years, it's a polarization of what is the truth and what you're shown on the surface. What is actually going on underneath is a deep labyrinth of lies, and it's a polarization of the truth. It's a polarity, it's the yin and the yang, it is a polar opposite of what you're shown, and it's deception and it's lies, and it's all going to be uncovered. And my name's Anthony and I'm 33 and I will...
I was going to ask you your name at the end anyway.
Yes.
Man, I totally agree with everything you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, because
you will see me...
I am very open-minded person. And I would imagine if we were talking about other things, should it be medical or how you're lied to by society and by the TV and by the elites. I would say we agree on a lot of stuff. I would say we agree on a lot of stuff.
It's all about truth, you know.
But this one truth again that I'm talking about today is animals, man. And I've been on the farms. I've been in 2 slaughterhouses and watched them suffer. Man, you see pigs at the slaughterhouse when we gas them. Do you know pigs are highly intelligent?
I didn't know that.
4th smartest animals, so I think it's human beings, dolphins,
ravens,
believe it or not, ravens are very intelligent. Pigs are number 4. I think dogs are number 8 or 9, so pigs are super intelligent. They're as intelligent at working out problems as a 3 or 4 year old human child. So you see when they arrive at the slaughterhouse, man, see when they arrive,
they know they have some awareness.
they do not want to go off the truck. They're forced inside. A guy will go on an electric prod, or they'll kick at them and force them inside.
Of course.
The ones being gassed, it's carbon dioxide too. It's a real cheap, aversive, shitty gas. It's like being suffocated. They're dropped down into this gas chamber, man. You should hear the screams of them. I swear to God, every time I talk about it, I feel like crying. It's that bad.
It's murder, man.
It is murder. Only people object to that term, by the way. We're only playing on words. It's the same bloody thing. If you gas a human being or gas a pig, you've taken their life from them when they wanted to live. But I was going to say to you, the ones outside, see the ones waiting to go in, man, you should see how terrified they are. If you can imagine yourself, they have it figured out. They hear by the screams of their family and friends that came in with them that what's going to happen to them, and they are terrified. Terrified to the point where, man, it breaks my fucking heart. You know, it's...
Hopefully now, in the coming years, there'll be some awareness raised about it, and you know, things might change for the better now, and you know, past this period, like, you know.
I hope so too, man. That's why I'm on the street. I do my YouTube videos and stuff and speak to people, and what I always say to people is, collectively as a society, we treat animals very poorly across the board, unless they're dogs and cats, and even then, some people mistreat them.
That's it.
But despite what society's doing, and this sounds judgmental, but I'm genuinely not, but you can take responsibility for what you do and pay for it. And if you're not cool with pigs being thrown in the gas chambers or cows being hung upside down having their throats cut,
no, I'm not cool with that.
You know, you can just eat plant-based or wear vegan leather, and it's available everywhere, man. The shops are full of vegan food. You must have seen it in the supermarkets.
I have indeed. It's you see, they make like fast food, and they make like meats and all. They make it very, 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 very cheap and readily available.
Yes. Farming's heavily subsidised.
Yeah.
Animal farming is heavily subsidised.
Yeah.
I work a bit with Animal Rebellion on London, and they're trying to get the government to subsidise farmers to move across to arable farming and to grow plants instead.
They want us on insects next, don't they?
That's the next of it. You know, so...
I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah. What do you think?
No. Man,
so.
For me... I know this seems maybe down a wormhole to a lot of people, pardon the pun, but they're still, man, if there's a spider in my house, I don't just crush them, put a glass over them and slide a card in and put them outside. I wouldn't hurt any animal for no reason. Why the hell would I want to eat cockroaches when I can just eat a plant-based burger or a plant-based sausage and it tastes like 95 or 99% the same? There's no cruelty involved in it. I can thrive on it. It costs the same. You know, what would be the reason I have to eat bugs?
No.
Why would I?
I think there's ulterior motives, to be honest with you. That they
one ulterior motive is animal agriculture is extremely lucrative. Like one cow, if you go to market in Ballymena, there the beef cattle they're selling for about 1,200 quid. If you have 50 cows, man, that's about 60 grand in a year. You know, it's a lot of money involved in it. You know, so.
You know, they cry poverty with the old money as well, like, you know, and the puppet master is squeezing the strings, you know, to cry poverty. And
the average farmer in this country is subsidised, I think, 28,000 a year from the government before they ever do anything. You know, so I want to tell you one more thing. Have you got 2 seconds before you go?
Yes.
Dairy. Do you know how cruel the dairy industry is? Do you know how it works?
Well, I've got a fair idea now because of the disgusting nature of the produce that once ingested makes you feel just absolutely terrible. You know?
Well, you're ingesting a pile of crap, saturated fat, cholesterol, antibiotics that keep the animals alive because they're in shit conditions. But man, let me tell you in like 30 seconds, the dairy industry.
No problem.
So cows are mammals, like humans. So when's the only time humans produce milk, a human woman?
When
she's pregnant. So the cows have to be perpetually pregnant or have given birth.
Of course.
So they artificially inseminate them.
Of course.
Pregnant 9 months. When the calves are born, 50% boys, 50% girls. The girls go back into the industry. She'll be made pregnant 5 or 6 times, have her kids taken away from her, which is really traumatic. Believe it or not, they will cry for them for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And then at 5 or 6 years old, their milk production drops, their body health declines, so they're sent off to a slaughterhouse when they can live to 25, 30 years old. So that's bad. You see the dairy herds around the countryside, the black and white Frisians we all see. They're all girls. Where's all the boys?
You know, they mustn't be around for some reason, you know.
They're not around because
it's like,
they're a waste product.
Yeah. It's
so
like
some of them,
cannabis, like you would have to be like you know, they're not meant to mate because you know, stuff like that.
The baby boys drink the milk that the farmer wants to sell to you. So three things will happen to them. One, farmers will dispose of them on the day they're born.
Of course.
120 to 150,000 in the UK a year.
Yeah.
Stay on the ground. Some farmers will shoot them in the head. Some will hit them over the head with a spade or a shovel. You never hear that. Dark secret of the dairy industry. Fact.
Well,
number two is they will send them to market. So if you go to Ballymena Market on a Friday morning, dropped calves.
Yes.
Dropped calves are the bull calves from the dairy industry. Hundreds of them. And they're sold for cheap meat products. So it's killed pretty much straight away. There's a meat plant across the road, I think it's called Docherty and Gray's. Killed at 10 days old, turned into cheap meat products because their meat is not good, believe it or not. It's not like something you could sell in a restaurant. So killed at 10 days old, or they're sold into the veal industry. Now, veal pens are illegal here, so what we do now is send them over to North African countries like Libya, Algeria, Morocco. They go over there, they're put in a dark pen with a chain around their neck for about 18 weeks, and at 18 weeks old they're pulled out of that, and some cruel stranger will pull a knife across their throat. It's torture, man, yeah, it's torture. So the dairy industry sucks. The dairy industry, if anybody's watching this, the dairy industry sucks. I hate it with all my heart, man. It is so cruel. And you see those wee baby boys on market, man, they're the softest wee souls that nobody would ever hurt themselves. And what we do to them is just atrocious.
What I'll say is before I go is there is a perfect higher universal law called karmic repercussions. And that means that every negative action partaken by a sentient being must be paid for in some way, shape or form. In other words, in layman's terms, what goes around comes around. So that negative action will flow back to you, and there will be a time in your future where you will, no matter what, you can be let build. One is let dig one's own grave, they say. So there will be a time in your future, not yours, but whoever takes the negative deed, that they will have to be held accountable for the crimes that they've paid in the past.
I like that, man.
Guaranteed.
I love that. I'm going to give you a card before you go, but can I tell you something that I heard, a myth that I heard once that ties exactly in with that? The myth is that when you die and you go to heaven, there's a bridge you have to cross.
Indeed.
And before you cross that bridge, on that bridge is every animal that you ever intersected with in your life. And that animal will decide whether or not you cross.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be along the right lines, like, you know.
Anyway, there's my card. Oh, that's one of my new. You're the first man ever to get one of my new cards. 100%, so 100%. I do YouTube. I do loads of street interviews and stuff.
No problem.
That's my Instagram. I'm genuinely not looking for subs. I'm going to ask you to watch one thing. Whereas here at the bottom, the best speech you'll ever hear.
No problem.
It's a Jewish guy called Guy Yarovsky. Free to watch on YouTube. 40 minutes long. I watched it 10 years ago, and I have never heard a more powerful speech in all my life. And I've heard loads of speakers, like even in church when I was young, you know, I know them all. But that guy laid something out for me that I couldn't argue with the word he was saying, and I changed to what I see as a more peaceful and a more empathetic and a kinder path overnight, man. So, what did you say your name was, Adam?
Anthony.
I've got the A.
Do you use toothpaste?
Yes.
Don't.
Oh, but hold on, I use vegan toothpaste and it's got no fluoride or anything.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I told you I agree with you and all that stuff. Man, thank you for stopping.
You're gonna